What's up, YouTube? I'm going to be showing you the exact strategy I used to make this new clothing brand $61,367 in just 42 days. If you've never seen me before, I'm Joel. I help clothing brands scale with paid advertisements, and I also own my own six-figure clothing brand. Now just sit back, relax, maybe grab your pen and paper because I'm about to hop on my PC and show you exactly how I did this in just 42 days. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm at my computer and I made this very simple flow chart so you could easily understand how I made this clothing brand $61,000 in just 42 days. And I'm going to hop straight into it. Here we have the Shopify dashboard. You can see March 28th to May 10th, $61,000. And I'm actually going to show it live right here so you can easily see the numbers right here. So 58K sessions, $61,000, almost 700 orders for this clothing brand, and a 1.1% conversion rate, which is pretty good for a clothing brand. You typically want to see above a 1% conversion rate. So a 1.1%, that is pretty solid to me. And honestly, this clothing brand is actually not that old. When I first started working with them, they were only 3 months old. So this is pretty much a brand new clothing brand. They only had 4 products, technically 2 products, but there's 2 different colorways of the product. So I just say 4. They only did 1 week of promo, 1 week of promo before they dropped. They did one influencer, and this influencer wasn't really huge. I think at the time they only had like 5 or 6K followers, and the majority of the revenue was generated through paid ads. And they only did 3.8K on drop day. And I want to mention the drop day number so you guys don't think I just hopped on a brand that was already doing 20K without me. And I'm just saying I made them 61K when I barely did that much work. No, they only did 3.8K on drop day. Their drop day was actually March 28th. Let me pull this up right here. You can see 3.8K on drop day. So again, I did not just hop on this clothing brand and just, roll. I didn't just ride their momentum. I created their momentum through paid ads. So let me go down here further. This is the actual product that they were advertising. As you can see, I am wearing it. Obviously, I'm going to cop me some because I made this clothing brand $61,000. The least I could do is show some love, show some support. But this was the product right here. A lot of you guys, just by looking at this, you can probably already tell why this product sold well, why this product went absolutely crazy. But if you don't know why, I'm going to explain it really briefly right here. So why was this product able to make so much money? Well, for one, this product is actually kind of baggy. It has like a boxy, baggy fit. And that is kind of trending right now. People are loving the baggy fit right now. They hopped on the leopard print trend as it was exploding. The leopard print trend is honestly quite big right now. Lots of brands are doing it, but this brand hopped in at the right moment, at the right time, before it got really rinsed. And they kind of pioneered the trend because they kind of hopped on it before like it was like really saturated and everybody was doing it. And one thing they did right was to do the trend and make it really good. They made it better than their competition. They dropped these baggy sets and they made the print look really good. And honestly, it's just perfect. Like they dropped colorways people haven't seen before. Like this pink colorway really stood out, and you don't see a lot of brands doing pink leopard print. So that is another reason why this product kind of exploded. And overall, the brand photos and aesthetic are pretty clean and nice to look at. Like this photo right here, that is pretty aesthetic. That is pretty clean. There's pink flowers with the pink set, and that's just very nice to look at. I'm gonna be honest, it's very nice to look at. The organic content surrounding the product was pretty good. All the videos were solid. Honestly, most of the videos were just simple flat lays. There weren't anything crazy, but like they just looked nice. They had a very clean website layout, built to convert, not to impress. So I'm going to talk about the website right here real quick. So they had a simple pop-up that collects customer phone numbers. You can see right here, unlock your 10%. That just collects people, and you can remarket to them. You can retarget them through SMS automations or through other ways. But this is very nice to have so you can collect new customers. The website is very plain and consistent, very, very easy to navigate. You can see over here, this is what it looks like on a phone. It is super easy to navigate. There's nothing crazy going on. There's no animations. There's no music. There's no BS on the screen that prevents a customer from just looking at what they want and just copying what they want. The description answers any common questions. So here is the description. They know how much the garment weighs. They know how it fits. The custom woven tag. The shipping information is right here. It's very clear that this is a pre-order. The customer is going to have to wait to receive their order. There shouldn't be any questions when it comes to, when am I going to receive my order? They can just read this and they will know how long it's going to take. And right here, we have a quick upsell. So there is a quick upsell, I think, right here. You can see you may also like, this is very good for driving AOV, average order value. So when someone buys something, they also get notified that, yo, you might like this too. And occasionally someone might add the zip up or the pants to their cart and just purchase it, increasing how much they spend with the store. So again, the website is very simple and bare bones. It's not trying to do the most. It's just trying to get customers in and out of the store. So just stop using websites with a bunch of BS animations, BS music. There's like lightning strikes everywhere or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but like just keep your website very bare bones. Stop using FKX theme, especially if you are a clothing brand or e-com store. Now, all of these things are important and are needed for a clothing brand by themselves, but they won't make you 61K in 42 days. So what exactly will? Well, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I ran Instagram slash Meta ads for this new clothing brand. And as you can see, out of that $61,000, I was able to drive almost $50,000, $48,282.06 to be exact, at a 4x return, which is just absolutely insane. I was able to drive this much volume for a new clothing brand, especially because when you have a new clothing brand, you don't have as much trust, you don't have as much social proof or whatever. It gets people very skeptical to buy from you. So to be able to drive this much volume for a pretty new clothing brand is pretty rare. You would need exceptional content, exceptional influencers usually to push this type of volume. Now, the meta ads were the biggest factor in scaling to these numbers. By utilizing the meta ads, I was able to generate, 48K in those 42 days. And I typically focused content that had already proven itself organically. And I created ads myself as I saw fit. I aggressively scaled when I saw how good the products performed initially. If I seen the ads were doing good, I would quickly scale them to not waste any time, not waste any money, just so we can push as much volume to the store as possible. Now, a lot of you may think that like, yeah, I'm running ads with this, but this clothing brand might have been posting every single day. The most of the sales could have came from that. No. As we were running ads, their last post was March 29th. You can see this was, if you know this brand, you can check their page, and their last post was March 29th. So that means from the whole month of April, they were not posting. It was just ads. And pretty much half of May, they were not posting. We were just running ads. So all of this money was coming in was strictly through the ads. They're not posting, driving new customers in. It was strictly just people seeing the ads and people copying from the ads. Now let's take a look at the Meta ad account itself so you guys can kind of see like what I was doing and like the exact like model and how much money was being pushed through each of these ad sets. So let's go ahead and check that real quick. So this is the actual ad account for the client. I'm not going to show everything because that is a whole different discussion for a different video, but I'm going to quickly go over my campaigns. So I have two campaigns. This one was just a regular campaign, and then this one was a retargeting campaign. You can see here with the regular campaign, I was able to drive $46,000 by spending $10,000, and that is a 4x return. And 4x return, that is pretty good. I obviously know it's not anything crazy like a 7 or 9 or 20x return, but like this is still very profitable. And these are extra sales this clothing brand would not have seen without me pushing these ads. So I'm gonna hop into the ad level right here, and I'm gonna close this right here so you can see the numbers right here. And let me go by amount spent right here. So you can see like just one of these ads was pushing $22,000 at an almost 5x return, which is just absolutely crazy. Like that is insane numbers. And mind you, again, this clothing brand was not posting, every single day. They stopped posting March 29th. So to be able to have an ad go for this long without anything sort of backing it up, any new content backing it up, that is really nice to see for a clothing brand. I'm not gonna lie. Now, towards the end of the drop, this clothing brand owner actually did end up posting new products to their clothing brand site. Actually, it wasn't even new products. It was just old products they haven't sold yet. They just put it up on their site, and that drove a little bit of extra revenue. But I promise you, I would say 97% of the revenue of that $61,000 came from the leopard print sets, not any of the old stuff that they put at the site at the very last week. So you can see like the exact breakdown of my ads right here, how much I'm spending for each ad, how much each ad is bringing back. We have some ads right here, 4x return, 4x return, 4x, 3x, 2x, 4x. This one's almost a 5x return. Like some of these ads did pretty good. This one has a 21x return, but like it's not anything crazy because this one has low spend. This one only spent $11. So I'm not gonna sit here and glaze myself and be like, oh, I got a 22x ROAS. No, I only spent $11 on this. It's not anything crazy. Don't let anyone trick you and be like, oh, I got a 22x return, but like they only spent $1. And, in that situation, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But you can also see some losers right here. Typically, a lot of these ads down here, like this one spent $8 right here and it didn't bring anything back. This one spent $7 and it didn't bring anything back. And typically with these ads, they would spend like, $10, $15 and at least bring in one sale. So again, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I absolutely won with everything I did with this clothing brand, but the ads that were winning really won, and this really pushed the brand forward. And at this point with these ads, we were spending around $200 a day, I want to say, for the most part, and then we got up to spending $380 a day at the max. Um, we were bringing in around $10,000 a week for this clothing brand. So you can see March 28th, that's when they dropped. And let's do March 28th to April 4th. That is a week. You can see $14,000 for that week with this clothing brand after we started pushing the ads. And from April 4th to April 11th, that is another $11,000 right there, almost $12,000. And then 11th to 18th, $14,000. So we were pushing a really, really good volume, weekly volume with these ads. Like we're pushing 10K plus a week just from these ads, which is absolutely crazy. Again, this is a new clothing brand, only 3 months old. And that just it's kind of insane that, the power of these ads can really do that for these clothing brands. So if you're not running ads for your clothing brand, you really need to consider, like, if you think you have a good product, you think you have a scalable product, I would highly recommend you run ads for your clothing brand if you think you have a good product. I'm letting you see the numbers with your very own eyes. Like, you can see a very new clothing brand was able to make $61,000 just by using ads. So if you believe you have a strong product, I would highly recommend researching ads and see what they can do for your clothing brand. Now, how do we scale specifically? Well, for one, I increased the ad spend. Obviously, as you are doing good with ads, you want to increase the amount of money you are spending with ads. That is pretty much obvious. It's kind of a given. We tested different creative angles. It's really important to test different types of ads, different types of angles to play on your product, because if you keep going for the same angle, you're just going to target the same like-minded people, and we don't want that. We want to have new audiences, new people buying our stuff. We increased the product prices around, I want to say, 3 weeks in. We increased the prices around $20. That way we drove our AOV up, while also getting the same amount of purchases per day with our ads. We doubled down on what we knew worked. So if something was working, we just spent more money on it. There's no point in trying to, reinvent. There's no point in trying to reinvent the wheel when you have something that works. Just double down on what you know works, and we were able to drive a lot more money just doing that. And then, honestly, we were able to drive a consistent $1,000 to $2,000 a day. I mean, I just showed you earlier, we drove a consistent, $10,000 plus a week with this new clothing brand. So that is just absolutely insane. And this is pretty much how I scaled, to be honest. How I scaled, just a simple prospecting campaign, and then I have a retargeting. Again, no specific settings I'm going to discuss here because it would be a really long video. I just want to discuss how I did this for this clothing brand. Now, before I end the video, a lot of you guys have been asking me, how do I do this for my own brand, or how do I bring you on board to help me with my own brand? So if you've already done over 1K in sales and feel like you're just guessing when it comes to paid ads or content or just scaling your brand in general, I made a free training video just for you. I break down the exact system I used to take my brand to 100K from scratch, and the exact systems I use to scale other brands to these high numbers. I mean, you literally just seen in this video me breaking down me scaling this brand to $61,000 in 42 days. And this is a new clothing brand. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to be helping 10 qualified brand owners do the exact same as me. And just so you know it's not BS, I'm going to show you some of my results right here. So I just took this brand from flopping. They basically texted me, they're like, yo, my drop did ass. Am I cooked? And then I started running their ads. I started helping them. And then boom, we made 5.1K in that month. You can see here the messages from flop to 5K month. Never give up hope. And then he was talking about, yo, I really said, should I just chalk this drop? So I really saved this guy's drop. My ads made him 2.5K in just 9 days. I helped him with his strategy. I helped him with his ads, and we were able to save his drop. Another brand owner I've helped is Keyshawn. You can see the message right here. I've been at 611 ROAS since drop day. Bless you, Joel. And you can see his brand numbers right here. $12,000. I helped him quite a while ago. This was like November of 2024, but his brand touched its first 10K month just from my help alone. And then, as like I said earlier, I've scaled my own brand to over 100K in sales just in the past 6 months using my ad strategy. So if you're serious, you can just click the first link in the description and watch the training. After I find 10 brand owners, I'm going to close down the spots because I only want to work with 10 people. I don't want to have so many people in there learning. Like, I just want 10 people. 10 people, that's it. So if you learned something, consider subscribing. You can also join the Discord. It's in the description, and you can leave a comment about anything you want me to potentially discuss in the future. That being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video, or whenever that is. Peace.